There's a reason the Andy Griffith Show has never really left us. That familiar whistled theme song instantly transports viewers back to Mayberry, a small town that felt both ordinary and magical. Over its 8 seasons and 249 episodes, the series gave us countless moments of humor, warmth, and gentle wisdom. But among all those stories, one episode stands above the rest, a single half-hour that fans and critics alike have crowned as the show's finest, with an IMDb rating higher than any other in the series. Convicts-at-Large from Season 3 has become a legend in its own right. It's the kind of episode that makes you laugh uncontrollably one moment and marvel at the sharp writing and unforgettable performances the next. But what exactly made this story of 3 escaped women and an unlucky deputy so iconic? And why? Decades later, do people still point to it as the pinnacle of the Andy Griffith Show? When the Andy Griffith Show first premiered on CBS in October 1960, few could have predicted just how deeply it would embed itself in American culture. Week after week, audiences tuned in to escape the pressures of modern life and step into Mayberry, a place that felt familiar yet idealized. Anchored by Andy Griffith's steady presence as Sheriff Andy Taylor, the show balanced homespun humor with heartfelt lessons. And, of course, Don Knotts as Deputy Barney Fife provided a comedic energy so sharp it earned him multiple Emmy Awards. Over the course of 249 episodes, the series became a cornerstone of family television, offering a consistent reminder of community, kindness, and simple joys. Even after its original run ended in April 1968, the show never really disappeared. Through reruns, it found new audiences who fell in love with its timeless charm. Generations who weren't even alive in the 1960s grew up knowing Opie, Aunt Bee, and Floyd the Barber, as if they were part of their own family. What sets the Andy Griffith Show apart from so many other sitcoms of its era is how it manages to remain relevant. Its stories are rooted in universal experiences, friendship, loyalty, and the small triumphs of everyday life. By the time Convicts-at-Large arrived in Season 3, the series had already established itself as a classic. This episode would only further cement its place in television history. Convicts-at-Large wastes no time plunging viewers into an unusual situation for Mayberry. The episode begins with 3 women escaping from prison, led by the formidable Big Maud Tyler. Described as tough, heavyset, and brimming with attitude, Maud and her 2 companions stumble into the lives of Floyd the Barber and Deputy Barney Fife at the worst possible moment. Out on a simple errand, Barney and Floyd run out of gas and find themselves stranded near an isolated cabin.
Andy, what are you doing?
What seems like an inconvenience quickly spirals into something far more dangerous when the fugitives take them hostage. Inside the cabin, the comedy unfolds in a way only the Andy Griffith Show could pull off. Floyd, oblivious to the real danger, behaves as if he's simply a guest at a social gathering. Barney, meanwhile, tries desperately to keep control of the situation, even as he's pressured into absurd tasks, including dancing awkwardly with one of the convicts. Back in town, Andy grows suspicious after learning from a local shopkeeper that something doesn't add up. Following his instincts, the sheriff tracks down the cabin and orchestrates a rescue that neatly captures both the tension and humor of the setup. It's a tight, brilliantly paced story that blends suspense with laughs, showcasing the show's rare ability to turn a simple premise into a timeless classic. What makes Convicts-at-Large so unforgettable is not just the clever setup, but the way the characters bring it to life. On IMDb, it holds a remarkable 9.3 rating, higher than any other episode of the series. That kind of acclaim isn't accidental. It's the product of perfectly timed performances, sharp writing, and an atmosphere that balances humor with genuine tension. The standout is Howard McNear as Floyd the Barber. His eccentric mannerisms, halting delivery, and childlike innocence turn every line into comedy gold. While Barney flails in panic, Floyd calmly peels a banana and watches as though nothing unusual is happening, even while Barney is forced into a hilariously awkward dance with one of the convicts. That contrast between Floyd's dreamy detachment and the looming threat creates some of the funniest and most memorable moments in the entire series. The episode also showcases Don Knotts at his finest. His nervous energy, exaggerated reactions, and desperate attempts to maintain dignity make Barney the perfect foil to both the convicts and Floyd. Add in Andy's sharp instincts and calm authority, and you have a trio of characters firing on all cylinders. It's this blend, tight storytelling, unforgettable character work, and comedic timing that makes Convicts-at-Large rise above hundreds of other Mayberry tales. Decades later, it remains the benchmark by which all other episodes are measured. Beyond the laughs of Convicts-at-Large, the episode highlights why Floyd the Barber became such a beloved figure in Mayberry. After Opie and Aunt Bee, Floyd was one of the most recognized and cherished townspeople. His little barber shop wasn't just a place for a haircut. It was the social hub where men gathered to swap stories, share worries, and debate the news of the day. In many ways, Floyd's chair was the unofficial town hall of Mayberry. Howard McNear, who brought Floyd to life, infused the character with a gentle eccentricity that made him instantly memorable. With his tilted head, wandering gaze, and slightly meandering way of speaking, Floyd embodied the everyday charm that defined the Andy Griffith Show. He wasn't flashy, he wasn't heroic, but he was real, an ordinary man whose quirks made him extraordinary. McNear's presence stretched from the show's very first season until illness forced him to step away in the mid-1960s. Yet in that time, he carved out a role that anchored the community spirit of Mayberry. Whenever the camera shifted to Floyd, viewers could count on a moment of warmth, laughter, or both. It's no wonder that his performance in Convicts-at-Large is remembered as the pinnacle of his contribution. As endearing as Floyd was on screen, Howard McNear's life behind the camera was marked by both triumph and hardship. In 1963, while still a central part of the Andy Griffith Show, McNear suffered a severe stroke that left the entire left side of his body paralyzed. For a time, it seemed his days in Mayberry were over. Audiences missed him dearly, and the show felt his absence. But Andy Griffith refused to let his friend fade away. Determined to bring McNear back, Andy worked closely with the writers and crew to adapt the role. Scenes were staged so that Floyd could remain seated in the barbershop chair or stand with support, often using props to mask his limited mobility. Through it all, McNear delivered performances with the same quirky timing and warmth that had made Floyd unforgettable. His return in 1965 was a triumph of friendship and resilience. Yet the toll of his illness was undeniable. By 1967, another stroke forced him to step away for good, and not long after, he passed away. Cast members later recalled that his final days on set were filled not with sadness, but with laughter, just as Floyd would have wanted. Andy Griffith's loyalty to McNear stands as one of the most touching chapters in the show's history, a testament to the bond that went beyond television. Like so many episodes of the Andy Griffith Show, Convicts-at-Large is sprinkled with little gems that make it even more fun to revisit. One of the most interesting casting notes is that Naomi, one of the escaped women, was played by Jean Carson, the same actress who later portrayed the unforgettable fun girl Daphne in multiple episodes. Her distinctive husky voice and mischievous energy made her a standout in both roles. Another notable guest star was Rita Shaw, who played the imposing Big Maud Tyler. Shaw would return to Mayberry in Season 6 as another memorable character in the Songfesters. For longtime fans, spotting these recurring guest actors became part of the joy of watching the series. The episode also contains a handful of continuity quirks that sharp-eyed viewers still point out today. In one moment, the sign outside the cabin market changes size between shots. At another point, smoke rises from the chimney, even though no fireplace is visible inside. And perhaps the most amusing slip, Floyd and Barney's car, is said to have run out of gas. Yet later it somehow makes it to the market without any explanation. These small inconsistencies never distracted from the story, in fact. They add to the charm. For fans who love to catch details, they serve as a reminder that even classic television was made under tight schedules and human hands. Convicts-at-Large endures not simply because it is funny, but because it captures everything that made the Andy Griffith Show so special. It combines the cozy rhythm of Mayberry with just enough danger to keep the story sharp, and then layers on unforgettable performances that continue to resonate decades later. Howard McNear's Floyd, with his quiet eccentricity, stands as the heart of the episode, turning a hostage situation into comedy gold with nothing more than a puzzled look or a distracted gesture. Paired with Don Knotts' nervous brilliance and Andy Griffith's steady hand, the result is pure television magic. Episodes like this remind us why Mayberry feels timeless. Even as the years pass, we still recognize ourselves in its characters, their quirks, their flaws, their kindness. That's why Convicts-at-Large isn't just a fan favorite. It's a piece of cultural history that continues to unite generations in laughter. Now it's your turn. Do you agree that Convicts-at-Large deserves its place at the very top? Or is there another episode that captured your heart even more? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your favorites. And if you enjoyed this trip back to Mayberry, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us as we revisit more unforgettable moments from the golden age of television.